welcome to this stream. Today I thought I'd have a play around with some arches. I've got this idea. I was inspired by a video that I watched, and a lot of things that I like to make are sort of Gothic, Victorian, that kind of a medieval. Very interested in that in real life, and always have done. You know, older buildings and history. Went to a site actually today for a walk. You know, that was 450 years old. It was like you know, well, actually, yeah, it was older than that. It was demolished by the government in about 440 years ago, and it was a castle, very well known castle. Had a lot of scandal attached to it as well, you know. Woohoo! And so yeah, I've always, even when I was really young, I've never really been one for you know, brand new shopping centres and stuff like that. You know, stick me in an old cathedral somewhere, or an old graveyard, or you know, some Gothic ruins of some sort, medieval ruins, and I'm quite happy. So anyway, I've got this kind of bigger plan, bigger idea of creating a castle, and I'm kind of collecting some reference images and such like, which I mentioned I think in a few videos ago. So that's kind of still ongoing. But I did this. I made this. I think a few months ago. I followed a small tutorial. Always loved Gothic arches. I always loved going to places like, you know, old cathedrals and crypts and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I kind of followed this tutorial and, you know, produced this. I mean, it you know, the tutorial was excellent. So I'm going to go down the route, but I made one kind of mistake. I didn't follow it exactly. And although this came out really well, and I'm very happy with it, you know, I mean, it's not textured correctly. I just put different textures on it just so that I could get an idea, and I literally just made it and uploaded it, so it hasn't been optimized and such like. So anyway, I literally followed the tutorial and created this. And the reason why it's got an alpha channel on it is because it's only got one side. But anyway, it was about the effect more than it being something practical. And what I want to do is to create something that can actually be used in Second Life as kind of Gothic arches. And I don't want to do just this. The person that I watched creating this literally just produced it to create the effect of walking through. Now he put in some windows and some sunlight effects, and you know, and was just literally creating this as an effect with someone just walking up through these arches, and that's all it was being used for. But I want to take this a step further and create you know, like a crypt. That's what I want to do. And there's a very nice crypt I go to in London, which is St Martin in the Fields. If anyone knows that building, that old church. Underneath they've got an amazing crypt which they've turned into a kind of restaurant and various other things. And I just love the atmosphere of places like that. You know, all sorts of Gothic buildings of very typically the larger churches and such like, and Gothic buildings have got crypts underneath. So that's what I want to do, and I don't want to constrain it to this. I want to make the crypt bigger. So I want it to sort of be like this, really, the effect be you know. Now, this is not going to work because it's not been designed together for anything like this, but you know, this is kind of the effect that I want to do, you know, is to create something that's got quite a large, you know, that kind of thing, like a large. So that's what I want to do. Whether I can get all that done today or not, I don't know. I mean, this didn't actually take me, if I remember rightly, this didn't take me an awful long time. This is fairly high poly as well, fairly high land impact if I remember rightly. I mean, I can zoom out quite a lot, and it, you know, it doesn't need to be that high. So in Second Life it can be brought down quite a lot. I mean, this is land impact of 87 at the moment, which is kind of ridiculous for such a small building. But I think I didn't optimize it. I just literally made it and wanted to see what it was going to look like. So, you know, it doesn't need to be particularly big. How big is this size? Oh. Let's edit the linked. So this is 27 meters long. So yeah, I can bring the land impact right down. Because at the end of the day, this is going to go in under the ground, under a building, and you don't really need to see probably more than a 30-meter square. You know, and I do want to try and make it in such a way that it can be linked. You know, it can be sort of linked together, and the crypt can be, you know, without the sides. But I made a mistake because I didn't follow the tutorial exactly, and I created an awful lot more mesh than I really needed to. But anyway, the effect is really, really good. I like it, and so that's what I'm doing today. I'm not getting an awful lot of viewers on my stream at the moment, and I'm kind of talking an awful lot, and I wonder if I'm just kind of wasting my breath a lot of the time, because I don't, you know, when I'm going live, I try to go live as much as I can the same time. I'm not getting an awful lot of viewers. I'm guessing, and I kind of knew this anyway, I mean, Second Life is not exactly the most popular thing here on Twitch, and I could be flogging a dead horse, as they say. There was somebody, or there has been a couple of people 5 or 6 years ago that was streaming Second Life stuff, and I don't know whether they got, let me just check, I can't remember. I think they had quite a few views, if I remember rightly. Let me just check 1 minute. But you see, Second Life is not even listed as a game on Twitch, which I find a bit odd, because if you type in Second Life, yeah, I mean, somebody was streaming 10 years ago Second Life, so that would have been 2010. I'm beginning to show up now on the search for Second Life, which is, you know, after a month or so of streaming, which is kind of nice to see, because I'm pretty sure I am the only person who is streaming anything from Second Life. There was somebody who used to stream Okay. Oh, hang on. Somebody else is actually streaming Second Life. Ooh, I might have to check them out. That's interesting, because that's probably the first time, apart from myself.
Let it just finish up this about me. This is...
That's interesting. So someone else is streaming, but they're not. Oh, okay, but they are putting the word Second Life in, but they've only done one video. Ooh, might have to follow them. I'm going to follow them and check them out later. Well, there you go. I've learned something today. Found a fellow Second Lifer. But other than that, there really isn't that many people doing anything with Second Life. So, and again, this person here is not getting an awful lot of views. How many followers have they got? I don't know. I don't know how you find out how long they've been streaming for. She's got 4 followers. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm wondering whether she's just started streaming. Does other things other than Second Life, but oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, so I don't think they've been on Twitch for very long. I'm going to check them out later on. Be nice to actually meet up with someone else. Maybe Second Life will have a revival on Twitch. You never know. I hope so, because I don't know why there aren't more people. It's a free platform. It's free, and it's paid, but it's free form. I mean, you can pretty much do what you like in Second Life. Anything goes. So anyway, I'm going to work on this. So let me move this chap over here, and we're now going to go into Blender. Now, I was playing around earlier on today, actually, with Blender, and I'm using the latest version, which is 2.92 alpha. I found these alpha versions very stable. I say that now and it'll probably crash, but there you go. But I've built all sorts of stuff in the alpha versions, and I've become to trust them even more. Now, I learnt something today, which is actually, I have watched so many videos, and I came across a video that I'd saved before because I'm going to create a castle, and the chap that was doing this particular video used a tool which I had never used before and didn't know that you could use it in this particular way, and that is to create these arches. Oh, that's interesting. I've linked that to that. That's not very good, is it? I need to delete that. Okay, so yeah, so this arch here was created very easily. I mentioned the other day when wandering around a sim that I'm gonna make, you know, like a you know, real rough and ready gothic kind of arch. But to create an arch, I've seen the most complicated videos being made in Blender to try and create arches, which I just thought, wow, and yet I could create this really easily. So I might even just demo that now, because this is really easy to create. So what I might do, I might actually demonstrate that now before I start moving in. So first of all, you need to create a mesh, Now, the guy that actually made this did it with actually, why don't I do it the same way that he did it? So he created a plane. I like to create a box and work from there, but he created a plane and resized it down. So quite simply, he just extruded on the Z. Oh. What's going on there? Oh. Extrude on the Z. No! Why are you doing that? Extrude on the Z. Thank you. Z. Okay, so he did this. Boom. Took the cursor and put the cursor somewhere about there. Bonk. It has to be on the same plane that you're going to basically extrude, and then used, and I've never seen this before. I know a lot of the tools, but I don't use them an awful lot. But basically, you have to have the cursor where you're going to pivot on, and ideally you need to be in orthographic mode, in front view. So then all he did was did the spin tool, and then did that, and brought that round, and you can type it in, but you know 180 degrees. I think he lowered the step. You can increase or lower the steps down. Now he was making a window, and he did. It was about 8, I think. Yeah, something like that. And then extruded down again to the bottom. Boom. Now, how easy is that to create an arch? Take that off there, that mode. Take it off that mode. And there you go. I mean, window arches and anything along those lines, really, really quite easy to do. I mean, I just thought that was just so simple. I've never, ever seen anyone use the spin tool to create an arch before. And I've seen people... There's one particular person that I follow. He's fantastic at making medieval stuff. But I'm not kidding, he produced 4 videos. He created one whole video that I think was about an hour long, that literally created what I've just done in 20 seconds in just one video. It was quite interesting. But anyway, I thought, you know, that's really, really quite good. So anyway, what I'm going to do is, so this is all going to be part and parcel of my my crit that I'm going to produce, and also the arch that I would like to produce, which is going to be sort of the rough and ready kind of lichen cave arch, which is all going to be brought together. So yeah.
Cool. Alright, thanks, girl.
I'm gonna have to check this person out. They obviously do other things, but she also goes into Second Life. So I wanna see if we can do a collab of some sort. She does modelling, but character modelling, which is out of my she likes to build sets and avatar characters. Okay, that's fine. So it'd be interesting to see what she does. Okay. I'm just going to send her a message actually, because it's not right. This is the first time. She's got 4 followers and I've just followed her, so she's live at the moment with 2 viewers, so I might I'm just going to send her a message actually. just found your channel by chance today and would like to maybe collab. Some nice stuff. Okay. You don't meet so many people online, you know, apart from when you're in Second Life. I've met some fantastic. I could talk about Second Life for hours, but be interesting to see if she responds. I don't know whether she responds. It looks like she's doing some sort of gardening thing at the moment. She's got a medicinal garden, which is interesting. I'm also interested in herbs and medicines and stuff like that as well. So, but anyway, I'm going to do my gothic stuff. I don't know whether she'll see my message or not. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to put that over there, and let's. Oh, I don't want to center on that. Okay, so let's add a mesh circle. Now I need to follow what this chap did, because I need to get it right. And I can't remember whether, you see, I made a circle that had too many vertices on it, and I can't remember how many he put on. I think it was 6 or 7, or was it 8? I can't remember. It was 8. Ah, okay, yeah, I thought it was. And if I remember rightly, I think I did mine with too many vertices on it, and I made it more complicated for myself. Let's put it that way. It was quite interesting. But anyway, yeah, I think that's absolutely fine the way it is. So we're just basically going to create the ambient noises you can hear in the background is one of my my avatars are in Second Life on a sim at the moment that's just got these rather nice noises going on in the background, and so I thought I'd just leave that on rather than having music on. I do wish this would stop. I do find this with 2.92 is that it doesn't seem to extrude along a path without you having to press the key twice. Now I don't know whether that's a bug or a feature. Don't get that in 2.91, so I do find it kind of irritating. So anyway, all I'm doing at the moment is just literally creating make that slightly bigger. This is only going to be low poly. probably don't really want to do any more than that. Let me just make sure I haven't. I don't think I have actually. Just in case. I don't think I did. So all you do is just duplicate. I'm gonna make it. I need to make this quite big actually, because I need to get my character in there, and he's pretty big. Actually, that reminds me, I need to find out exactly how tall he is. Okay, so the person running this channel is not responding to anything. She's busy doing something on she's maybe not looking at her her chat. Anyway. Need to select that one and that one. Bridge loops. Yeah, there's certain things that are not in 2.92. They keep changing things sometimes. Connect vertex pairs, is that what it's called now, instead of bridging loops? No, it isn't. Right, okay, not a problem. Bridge edge loops. Oh, I know why that won't work. Duh. It's late in the day. And it's weird, isn't it? It's weird how sometimes they just don't let's just bring that in like that, give it more of a kind of a pillar effect really. There we go. I don't want to make it too complicated. The last one I made it far too complicated and too detailed. And actually, I just want to switch back to Second Life a minute. And measure my avatar, because I need to make it at least, because at the moment the arches that I made were just kind of a little bit too small, and I want to make this sort of one-to-one size so that he's not, and I mean he's larger than your average, he's smarter than your average bear. Is that from, that's from a cartoon, isn't it? But he's kind of larger than your average avatar anyway, so. But anyway, let's go into SL and measure this guy. So the easiest way of doing that really is to just lump something on the ground. Don't want to stretch both sides. bring. It's about. He's about that high, I suppose, to the tip of his ears. So he's 3 meters high. Whoa. Wow. Okay. He is 3 meters high. That's pretty big. What's that? 9 foot? Something like that in old money. So how high is this? So at the moment, yeah, it's nearly 6 meters. So that's probably. I mean, I probably need to resize this actually. Let's scale this down a little bit. Yeah, so let's get rid of do that, and let's scale this down so that it's. I reckon. So if he's 3 meters high, I reckon make this, because obviously you've got the arches. So if I make this 4 meters high, that's going to be like an extra meter above the top of his head. Whereas at the moment, where he is on here, this kind of. He's kind of almost at the top of these pillars, which obviously are 3 meters high. So 4 meters high would make him. It would give it a bit of scale. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's fine. He is good. He is good at that, I think. Yeah, okay. So let's just leave it at that. So I've resized this accordingly. Okay. So this other person's just gone offline. It's a shame. She obviously wasn't reading her chat. I might just send her a message. I think I commented. Yeah, here we go. So let me send her a message. I don't know whether you can do that. Can you do that? Can you send someone a message? Okay. How do you send someone a message in? I've never done this before. How can you send somebody?
He really seems happy to be in a bigger pot.
Okay, can I chat? Can I send her a whisper? Maybe. No, you can't do that either. Okay. That's a shame. You can't send somebody a message.
He really seems happy to be in a.
Okay. You can't send somebody a message. She doesn't have anything, so she's not on Facebook. I might have to contact her then in World. Maybe. That might be the thing to do. Let's see. Her name is that Priority Normal. Interesting. Let me see if I can contact her in World. She might even be in World now. search for people. Priority normal. Okay. Oh wow. Oh, she's only learning about Second Life? My goodness, she's put quite a bit of personal details. So she's actually only been in Second Life for 4 months. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to maybe send her a message. Again, Second Life is very haphazard with messaging. Okay. I will copy the message that I sent to her on the video. Let's revive Second Life in Twitch. Right, I'm going to send her a message. See if she responds. She doesn't appear to be online at the moment that I can see. It says she's offline, but it's possible she isn't. If I add her as a friend as well, just in case, you never know. You never know. Anyway, I'm following her on Twitch at the moment, so that's good. Anyway, let's get back to our the gothicness, our gothicness. Right. So basically what we do at this point then is we just keep extruding. We kind of extrude upwards, I think about 5 times, and we just create these arches. We scale. We sort of, create this effect. So we just go up, scale. I like that. Maybe one more time. I want to try and keep this a little bit more low prim than the chap, actually, because obviously he was just modelling for a games engine, because he was making it as a game asset, but it was only for an effect for a film, and I want it to be something that is going to be used in Second Life. So yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good, actually. That is a lot better than what I did my arches before, because the arches I did before were a bit, yeah, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. Right. I might need to hide this. Let's just hide this for now, because yeah, that's looking a lot better. Right, so we've got the height of these. I want mine to be quite big, actually. I want it to look quite impressive. So what we need to do here is select that scale 0. remember now what it was he did on this. He did something on this to... Right, okay, so I think it was this, and then we did scale, 0, no, I don't know what it was he did on here. And you can do it that way, and that will work equally as well. Let's do it this way as well. Does look a lot better than my original. Okay. Hi. She's... Hello, how are you? Detropia? I'm just building some, is that the channel I just went to? I can't remember. I've been searching for quite a while now for people, who are also into Second Life, and I've made a few people in Twitch, but there's not an awful lot of people broadcasting or streaming on Second Life. So anyway, if you don't know much about me, anyone that's following at the moment, I'm a big Second Life fan, have been for about 14 years, and I make Blender. I mess around with Blender. I'm not a guru in Blender, and I've mentioned this many times. I'm not some wizard in Blender. I like creating stuff in Blender. I've made a lot of builds. I've done a lot of stuff for people, commissions as well. I built Sims surrounds, and I've done all sorts of stuff. I just love messing around with Blender and making things. And I've got some ideas at the moment about making. I've got a big project that I would like to do. It's a personal thing, and it's to create a castle. And I don't know whether you've seen the other part of this video. Let me just take you back. So my inspiration has come from boink here. So this is Second Life, and this is just my first draft attempt at making Gothic arches. I've always wanted to try and make Gothic arches. I found a chap on YouTube. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about making Gothic arches, and obviously some people want to make very, very, very realistic arches, and others I'm looking for sort of, I tend to focus on low poly, purely because Second Life doesn't like stuff to be too high land impact, you know. So anyway, I wanted to sort of focus on creating something that looked good and is obviously low land impact. And so that's my blurb. Let's go back into Blender and mess around with Blender. Thank you. Well, I wouldn't call it beautiful. I'm a very practical person. But I love creating. I love creating stuff, and I just watch so many people on Twitch, and I just wish I had the artistic ability to create the stuff that some people do. But you know, I enjoy what I do. So I think this looks a little bit out. So these four vertices here, I think, need to be scaled in just very slightly, because they kind of stick out, I think, a little bit too much. So I'm going to grab them, scale them on the Z-axis, and just bring them in just very slightly, so that they don't look like they're sticking out too much. No, that looks good. I like that. I like that, because I've created I'm sort of creating less vertices than what would normally be done, because I want to try and keep this as low poly as possible, really. But once it's shaded and textured and everything, I think it should look fine. It should look absolutely fine. And I think this would be big enough for my my character as well, because my latest character, which is a Lycan, which I did a video about recently, showing my new character. He's 3 meters tall. I mean, I like to use the large one because a lot of people like to role play with him, because he's just so big and scary, and you know, a lot of people seem to like to role play with him. Thank you for the follow, by the way. That's really helpful. I've followed your channel. I don't know how to pronounce your Ditropia. So I just wondered, actually, you know, if you wanted to, I'm quite open to collabing and sharing ideas and stuff. Thank you. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. As you've probably found out, if you've searched on Twitch, there isn't a lot of people. Yeah. Ah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've added you as a friend on Second Life as well. And I sent you a message, because you know, you get a lot of friend requests in Second Life, and sometimes people I find are a little bit dodgy, but I think I've just kind of grown over the years. Yeah, brilliant. I just like I like just working with other people. I like collabing with others, and you know, just sharing ideas and stuff. That's all I want to do, really. Okay, what I need to do now is select these faces. So on your Ditropia, on your profile, you say you like using Blender. Ah, okay. Wow, you've got a parcel. Crikey. Nice. Yeah, I saw a couple of your other videos. I will check them out in more detail later. But it caught my eye straight away because. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Yeah, I'm also premium, and I've never. I need more space, and even when they went from 512 meters square to 1024 meters square, I thought, yeah, my builds are pretty big. I can't. I need more than that. Very often, what I do is I actually rent parcels, and because I need the space. So. Yeah, I'll have to show you some of my builds. They're pretty big. I build big in Second Life. Yeah, yeah, you do. If you want to create, some nice stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I've never really picked up. I know it's free. The parcel, the size that they give you, but for me, it's just not big enough. And I wouldn't really want to be just tied down to one particular space. But I tend to use, for big builds, I tend to actually use some sandboxes. And there are some excellent sandboxes around that they're just brilliant. I've met some amazing people on some of these sandboxes, and they're helpful, and they're just friendly. Just, that's all I want. I'm a simple person. I just want, I don't like drama. I know some people just like that for Second Life, but. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we want to do the depth, which will probably, let's make it, no, we need to go the other way. I want to do it maybe 0.2. 0.2 should be enough. I think that looks pretty, yeah, I like that. Maybe 0.17. The other way, 0.017. There we go. Do you have a premium account? Because there are sandboxes that I use. Ah, okay, right. Okay, you've got a premium account. That gives you exclusive access to sandboxes which are like no other. Because if you go to a public sandbox, I don't know what it is about public sandboxes. There's one that I use. I can give you some links actually. If you add me as a friend in Second Life, I will give you landmarks in Second Life of some of the best sandboxes to go to. And the other thing is, have you actually requested access to the beta grid, Second Life beta or beta? Yeah, you have. Okay. Yeah, if you go into... No, I've heard of it, but didn't. Okay, right. Definitely I can show you how to request access to the beta grid. The beauty with the beta grid is that the Lindens give you virtual money when you're in the beta grid, which is endless. And you can upload and test stuff out, your builds and such like, for free. So instead of creating things in Blender and uploading it as mesh, which costs you effectively money every time you do that. So if you're testing stuff out, it can be really expensive. So if you go to the Beta Grid as a builder, it's much more cost effective because it's free, and there's very few people who use the Beta Grid. And again, I can take you to some sandboxes there that you can go to, and it works. What on earth was that noise? But yeah, by all means, not a problem. I'm all about getting people interested in Second Life, because I mean, typically there's about 40-odd thousand to 50-odd thousand people in Second Life, you know, on average per day. So, but I want to get more people in it. That's why I'm surprised there's not more people on Twitch. Okay, so I'm going to bring that in to about there. That's fine. Let's do the same. So we're creating this lovely arch effect really simply. About the same. And if we go in, oh, didn't want that to happen. Ah, I hate it when I do that. Okay. So we inset that like so, and then you want to go minus 0.17 in. It gives that kind of effect. Just make sure that that's about the same. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. There we go. I'm going to save this. Always save as you go along. So I noticed on your Twitch profile you're interested in set building, I think it said. Set building and character, and I characters is one thing I can't do. I've tried. So I always buy avatars. I find it easier. I like building. I haven't been in Twitch for very long, actually, myself. I knew about Twitch a long time ago, and I was very much a YouTube person, and yeah, I do the same. You know, again, like sometimes I love building, but sometimes you just think, you know, if somebody's already done it, then the Second Life marketplace is amazing. It really is quite amazing. But I just love building. I like, you know, getting inspiration from other people, looking at what they've built and thinking, you know, I could make something like that, and I just like it as a challenge. So this is looking kind of good. Is that actually, yeah, that's pretty straight, isn't it? $224 verts, that's not bad at all. That's pretty low poly. This is not going to be highly detailed, and it doesn't need to be, because it's going to be used in roleplay. So generally speaking, you want the effect. You don't really want the details so much. So this looks good. Right, let me just check what else. I'll switch you back to my my character. Okay, so this is the character that I use at the moment because I roleplay. I do quite a bit of roleplay actually in Second Life. But this is my guy. He's a bit scary, but I used to have a Lycan character before, about 6 or 7 years ago, and so I've kind of kitted this guy out. He wasn't cheap, but I've kitted him out, and I actually did the skull myself. I didn't make the mesh for it, but it was a free download from a website, and I altered it and brought it into Second Life, and but yeah. But he's kind of tall. He's like 3 meters high, which is. And why I want these kind of Gothic arches is for roleplay underneath kind of, you know, an old Gothic building, and that's basically what I'm building this for. But this was my first attempt at doing Gothic arches, and yeah, I was quite pleased with it. They look alright, but they're not textured by any means. I just put a colour on them so I could tell where the materials were in Blender, and so, you know, but it will look authentic. Do you Detropia? Do you do I think you said you do Blender. Do you design stuff in Blender or not? So I'm going to save this now, and I'm going to save it as a different version. Always save stuff as different versions. Actually, I should have called this 01AB. We're going to call this 01B. I'm going to add a modifier, an array modifier. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, web develop. I do a bit of web developing for people, not so much now. I tend to end up. I do an awful lot of programming stuff now, database program. So I do a whole. if we get chatting about anything at any point, you know, I've got skills in a lot of different areas over the years. I've been in IT since 1979, so, you know, I've got experience in all sorts of stuff. But I don't know how many to go over on this, really. I might do. That's going to be pretty big. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, so we've got quite a lot in common. Early 80s. Yeah. In the real days. What I call the real days of DOS and stuff like that, and I still well, it's not called DOS so much now, but I still use the terminals. Absolutely. I used to work for Atari. In the late 70s, and yeah, so we used terminals, VAX machines. I don't know whether you ever remember them. VAX, and I was involved in the mini mainframe terminals. I was also, yeah. Oh wow, there's a blast from the past. DEX, yeah, I remember them. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we we can talk techie stuff as well then. It's pretty good. We're a dying breed of IT person now. I see stuff now that young people get involved in IT, and it's just, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Gardening. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not green fingered at all. My wife is the gardener. She can grow anything. She can take a plant. I've never seen anyone who can. She can take a twig or a plant or a leaf from, or get given a plant from somebody, and she'll just fill up the garden or a little mini greenhouse with it. I've never known anyone who can grow stuff as much as my wife can. It's mind-blowing what she can do with plants. Right, I'm gonna merge. Yeah, she's definitely got green fingers. She can grow orchids. I've never seen someone grow orchids. I mean, I'm from the UK, and I mean, we haven't really got the climate for orchids, but my goodness, she can grow orchids like I've never seen before. It's unreal. There we go. We joined them up. We joined them up. Okay, right, at this point, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. Right, so there's not going to be an awful lot of textures on here. So I'm going to apply the textures to this now. So that's going to be one texture. I'm going to apply a texture to that one. What are we going to call it? New. I'm going to call this roof inserts. Okay, so that's going to be one texture. I'm going to assign it to those. I might... oh, that's good. We can go around there. I might give that another texture, so I'm going to call this one pillar. Okay. Now if I select that and then select all of them, select, oh no, right, I know what that's done. Okay, so I'm going to call that brickwork. Keep forgetting that the first texture tends to be the first material tends to be the whole thing. So now I'm going to select, I'm going to create a new one, and then I'm going to create that and call that roof inserts. Okay, so I'm going to select all of these. Roof inserts, I'm going to assign that material to them. If I deselect, select the pillars. See, this is something, I think sometimes there seems to be a bit of a bug in this version. Notice this of Blender. Right, so if I deselect roof inserts, select, yeah, deselect pillars, select, that's correct, deselect. The brickwork should now be everything else, and it is. Perfect. So we've got 3 textures, 3 materials assigned now to the whole lot. I'm going to save this. Ooh, sorry, I'm working in Blender and I'm not showing Blender. Sorry about that. So basically what I've done is I've created 3 materials and I've created 3 materials, assigned it to this mesh, and we've now got an array going on, which is working fine. So that will now be applied, those textures will now be, materials rather, would be now applied across the whole of them. And, what I generally like to do is to duplicate things as I go along. Interesting. Okay, let's duplicate that and then hide it. I'm going to apply that array and then add another array. I could probably do it the other way around, but I don't like messing around with this stuff, complicating it too much. We want to stick it on the Y and we want to go the other way basically. So I'm thinking 4x4. 4x4 gives it that really nice effect, and I can always make it bigger. I'm just thinking whether I should really make it. No, because it's going to be used underneath a really big building, and if anything 4x4 is going to be more than enough. That's interesting. So we need to merge them. Merge. Boink. Okay, that's now all merged together. We shouldn't have any nasty. Now on the outside of this will be walls, and I should be making some Gothic arches to go with this as well. So this at the moment is 3,500 verts, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. Now for this whole building, I reckon I could bring this right down to approximately, I reckon my target land impact on this will be about 16. Typically if I brought this into Second Life now, it would be pretty high. It would be like 100 or so. Land impact on the one that I brought in that I showed earlier was 87, and that was just one, you know, that was just one alleyway, if you like. So I reckon this would be quite good. That's gonna look pretty neat once it's textured. It's gonna look pretty authentic. Much better than on my second attempt of making this than the first one. I just like looking around to make sure that it actually looks good. So we've got a nice effect straight on the verticals and also the diagonals. You've still got that kind of arched effect. It's actually really quite effective. I'm happy with that. Right, I'm going to save this different revision. We're now going to go up to C Rev. If I shade smooth and then on the UVs we do an auto smooth, and let's just bring up and that will make it look really quite nice. About getting this looking good, really. I think that will be fine. Once that's textured, we've not got any funny, strange anomalies. The pillars look more round than they would do normally. It's low poly, so I don't really want it to. I mean, I could up that and then make them look like, but then you're losing some detail. That might look okay, actually. It's given the bases and the tops of these pillars a bit more of a rounded effect, but we're getting some strange kind of looking in here. Might play around with that when I put some textures on, but it looks good. Okay, I'll give you. I'm hoping that are you still there, Detropia? Detropia. I'll give you an idea of why you need to use the beta grid. I'll give you a demonstration of that. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to let me get rid of this character. Right, I'm going to log on to the beta grid. Hydrate, need to hydrate. How are we doing? Is my microphone still working correctly? It is still working correctly. Right, okay, so I'm now going to log on to the beta grid. Let me change. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this. So as this model is right now, we are looking at 3.5 vertices. Okay, so that's going to be pretty high. That is going to be pretty high, and I haven't done any physics on this model yet, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to export this model out as a Collada file for Second Life. Okay, that's fine. We use the presets. Let's export that out, and it's going to be called Arches 01C. Unfortunately, that the saving of the menu doesn't really come out on OBS, so I'm now going to go into my normal Second Life, and we'll see how much this is going to cost and what the land impact is in Second Life. So let me switch over. Badink, we're here. Okay, so this is the main grid. Okay, this is not the beta grid. This is the main grid. Okay, now it's going to be fairly similar to this. Well, actually it won't, because I've only got 4x4, which is 16. Here I did a lot more pillars. So, but anyway, if we upload mesh, this will just give you an idea. So if we look at arches, okay, there's our mesh. What I didn't do actually, oh yeah, okay, so that's fine. So there's our mesh. Shading looks good actually. We're not going to bring any physics model in, right? I'm going to leave this pretty default. So according to this, it's Second Life doesn't always get this right, but there are only actually 3.5 vertices on this, and yet this uploader has calculated it out of 5,900, which is not correct. The tries, oh, that's interesting. So it's working it on the, it's basing it on the triangles. Okay, right, yeah, because the triangles are actually the correct. So anyway, we're going to call it arches. I'm not going to upload this because it will cost a silly amount of money. We're just going to test it and see. I'm not going to do anything. So you can see that's the model that we've just created in Blender. I'm not going to do anything. We're going to have no physics on this. Nothing else there. Let's calculate it. I think it'll be a lot. So the land impact is 85. Okay. That's pretty high. And I know that I can bring that right down. I know I can bring that right down. It's not actually going to cost a huge amount of money. I thought it'd be higher than that actually. If I wanted, yeah, because this is going to be typically like a a crypt. So it's going to be underground, and the role players are going to be fairly close to it. So they are not going to be looking at this really much from a distance. So that's actually probably not too bad. But if we swap over now to the, and I want to see what it looks like in world, I'm actually logged onto the beta grid. Let me go down. Right, so let me switch this over to the beta grid. We're now on, this is my character in the beta grid. Okay, so when we meet up in world, if you're still watching Detropia, I'll give you obviously some landmarks, and I can sort of talk you through getting onto the beta grid. So the whole point, why do you go to the beta grid? If you're a creator in anything, it doesn't really matter what it is. I would always say go to the beta grid, because you can play around in the beta grid for free, basically. It's especially good for creators. You know, you want to build something and test it out. Unfortunately, what you can't do, you can't build something in the beta grid and then bring it in to the main grid, because obviously everyone would be doing that. Transactions are okay. Right, so I'm gonna bring in that. This is what this is useful for. You bring in your mesh, okay, and you can bring it in, and you can bring it in at a really high resolution with fantastic physics and all of those other things. So I'm going to apply physics to this because I want it quite high, because I don't want to collide with... now, you wouldn't normally do this, okay? You would build a physics model in Blender and I would bring it in, but I'm letting Second Life build the physics. So if we analyze that, yeah, that's absolutely fine. That looks to me like I am going to be able to walk between the pillars. Okay, it exceeds the try limit. Okay, so let's bring it down a bit then. Doesn't like that. Are they? Okay. No, it's not going to let me do this because the tries are too high. Alright, so let me do a low. That may or may not work. Right, I'm going to call this Arches 01C. If I could spell today, would be great. 01C. Calculate. Now this is going to be high. Oh no, it's not. The upload fee is high, but of course I don't care because it's the beta grid. It doesn't cost me anything. Okay, let's upload it, see what it looks like. Here's my arches. Boom. Ooh, physics worked. Did it? No, the physics didn't work. Didn't think it would. And this is why you need to build your own physics, because the Second Life physics is pretty naff, really. Nah. See all the blue? So even though it looked like the physics model was going to be good, it just generalized it and made it one great big block. So I can't actually walk through this. So I have to make it none. There we go. So now it means that I will walk through the pillars. No, it's not letting me do it. Because it needs a physics model of some sort. So I need to create... What I normally do is create a... let's create something like right in the middle. And now I'm going to link that. With that, I'm going to link them, then edit the linked, which is my arches, and then take the convex hull off. And there we go. Right, now I can walk around. But the thing now is that there is no physics at all applied to my arches, because I only want to see what they look like, and I can. It means that I can walk right through them, but I can't walk through this box. I walk over the box, if that makes sense. But anyway, I can see what this looks like, which is really good, and I quite like the shading. The shading looks good. When there is a texture applied to this, that looks pretty neat. I like it. And my character, which is a normal sized avatar, it actually looks pretty realistic. And with my other character on the main grid, who's 3 meters high, looks pretty good. I like it. It looks pretty good. I like that. I like that. That is going to be perfect for role playing. And I would imagine. So the beauty with this now is that I can do things like I can select this and I can select the faces, and when I select a particular face, it now, see, because I applied the materials in Blender, it's now selecting only the face that I've clicked on, which is really, really good. What I can do now is I can apply a color. You know, what I normally do is I just apply a kind of color to that, so I might just give that dark gray. Texture is blank, that's fine. And then if I select everything else, I can give that a darker grey, maybe that kind of a colour. Okay, and then the inner bit, I can select that maybe kind of a slightly different colour, like that. It's a little bit too bright, too dark, I think. Let's just select that. So you just do it as different colours. Pretty neat. Now when there's a floor on there, a flag, you know, stone flag floor, and then this is all textured correctly with walls, and I'm going to do sort of Gothic arch. That's going to look pretty good. Now I suspect, knowing the building that this will probably go to, I suspect that the owner will do this with it, or want to have the ability to do that. Make it like really long. Something along those lines. So then you've got a really nice effect. You know, that's going to look really good. I like that. And when I build the proper physics model, you won't be able to walk through the pillars. But Blender's Blender's okay for doing basic physics, but for this kind of thing, which is a lot more complex, it just can't cope. It doesn't know what to do with this. What's the land impact of this? 85. Isn't that interesting? So I made my original Gothic arches very, very pretty much the same land impact, but not very big at all. So it does actually pay to remodel stuff, and if you want to make it low land impact for Second Life, then it is certainly worth. And I know I can bring that right down because I will make my own physics model. But that's pretty neat. I like that. I like that. I'm very, very happy with that. So I'm going to select. I think this face looks better when it's like a kind of a red, you know, like a kind of like that, really. Okay. Okay, that looks good. I just love the effect. You put some sound effects with this, you know, walking on you know, flagstones, and having a bit of an echo going on with some water drips as a background effect of some sort. I reckon that'll look quite good. That will look pretty good for roleplay. Very neat. I'm happy with that. But yeah, that's so, you know, bringing that up to the beta grid allows you to play around with stuff. A lot of people who come here, very often they're making clothes. You've got lots of builders in here very often as well. And you know, I'm on this sim now at the moment, and there isn't anyone else on here. So, you know, I mean, I know obviously it's the time of year, and you know, but I mean, at most on this whole parcel, which is pretty big, nearly 61,000 square meters. The most people I've ever seen on here, probably 3 people building. But you can, in a way, you can kind of see why I need a large space to make stuff, because I love it. I like it. But anyway, that's that. I am going to highlight that. Edit. I'm just going to call this Gothic Arches, because I might play around with it later on. Is there an E in Arches? I think there is. Pretty sure there is. Okay, so I'm going to take this. No, I don't want to edit the terrain. Why do I want to edit the terrain? Take. There we go. So my arches are there. Okay, see you again. Definitely stay in touch. You know, I really want to meet other people in Second Life, and here on Twitch. You know, maybe we can revive some interest in Second Life on Twitch. Anyway, good to meet you. Take care, and all right, brilliant. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again for sure. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm going to go back into Blender. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. That's I quite like the effect. I think the shading is actually not overdone. I think once it's textured and etc., it will look good. And I will be adding some of my. I might make this whole thing as a closed crypt rather than leaving it open, as in, you know, I will add a floor. Yeah, I might make it a close. I might have to ask my client actually and see what it is they actually want. But I think for my own use, I would like to create like what I'm calling a closed crypt. So there will be walls and obviously a floor. I need to add a floor, no, for sure. But I'm very happy with that. Actually, as my second attempt at this. It's pretty neat, pretty neat. Okay. Hello, Ava. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. Did you have a good holiday? Oh, okay. Good. So I want to grab this actually and bring that in around there, because I kind of want to center it. There we go. Right, let's do all transformations and bring that into the center. Pretty sure that is, yeah, that looks good. I'm going to add a floor, plane scale. I'm guessing that's going to be about 6. No, it isn't. That's going to be about 12 then. Ooh, no, not that many. 12. Yeah, that's going to be our floor. Save this as a different revision. D. I'm just trying to think how this is going to be used. I think people are going to be coming from land level, which is going to be obviously a lot higher. How high is this now? So this is actually now nearly 6 meters high. Okay, so my other character in Second Life will almost come up to the top of the pillar. Yeah. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with... Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I can create physics for this really easily, because if I select the pillar materials, ooh, I haven't applied. Made with UE4. What's made with UE4? No, I'm using Blender. Oh, Playlife is also similar to SL. Oh, okay. I've never heard of Playlife. I don't know what that is, but made with UE4. Okay. Jolly good. I'm going to apply this array because I'm quite happy that that's now finished. I'm going to duplicate this first. Always duplicate, hide it. I'm going to apply this array so that we've got a fixed amount. There we go. I'm going to select one material, the pillars. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to call that Did that do anything? So if I select those, I don't know whether that did anything. Did that do anything? It didn't do anything. Okay. Let's do that again, shall we? Materials. I'm going to select the pillars. Why are you not applying the modifier? Apply. Okay. We've applied the modifier. We've now selected that material. Deselect, select, okay. I'm now select those vertices. I now want to duplicate them. Shift D, and they're going to be in place. Correct? Right. Why is that not working? That's not working. Select that material. Mesh, duplicate. Right, that's definitely duplicated. You're not duplicating, are you? How very odd. Am I doing something odd? What is different between 2.91 and 2.92? Select. Shift D. Okay. Now it's duplicated, but normally you just press enter. I don't know why. Okay. Let me go back 1 minute because I don't think that that's I think I'm doing something wrong there. Right. I applied the modifier. Apply the modifier. Okay. This is 3,585. Okay. I'm going to select that. Select. Shift D. Let's go Z. I'm just going to move them out of the way. Separate by selection. Correct. It's weird. So you have to move them out of the way. Very odd. Right. I'm going to call this... Okay, that's working now. Isn't that weird? I'm going to call this physics. Physics. Okay, and I'm now going to bring that back down again. GZ. Bring that down to here. It doesn't really matter because GZ. This is just going to be the physics model. Control A, all transformations correct. This one has got all transformations applied. So one is the physics and one is the the actual model. We've already got the model, so I'm going to, let's save this version, export the model again just to make sure. We're going to call it D. Oh, I am getting tired because I am not doing things correctly. This is the problem when you get tired. It's not good to do modeling when you're tired. Select the physics model. I'm now going to export that out. We're going to call it the same name, but we are going to put an underscore so that Second Life knows that it's the physics model. We put an underscore and PHYS at the end. We only want the stat, which is correct. Did I do that again? I don't think I did it. Collada, we want to select just that as a static D. Let's export. Okay, let's go back to Ye's Second Life. We're on the beta again. So I now want to make sure that my physics model is going to be correct. Build, upload, mesh. We're going to bring in the original model. Very often I find with this latest version of the Firestorm viewer is that it automatically picks up the physics model, and the physics model is not good. Yeah, I know why, because yeah, it's looking for the boundaries. It doesn't like bringing in a model, a physics model that's not actually to the boundaries. This is why you need the beta grid, because it's good at seeing this stuff. You know what I could do? I could make that the physics model. It may or may not work. Anything's got to be better than using 85 land impact. So the physics model, let's browse and bring that back in again. What does it give us? No. Okay, let's re-import that again. Let's select that and do that the other way around. Does it want us to join this? It might want us to join that first. Okay. Let's go export Collada physics model. That only. Export. Let's see what that does. Physics. Browse. Bring from there again. Almost. I might need to spend that is almost there actually. I might need to spend a little bit more time on the physics model. Let's just bring this in anyway. Archers 01D. How much is that going to cost? Let's upload it anyway and see what it's like. Let's see if it actually does work. No. Let's make it prim. Oh, it did work. Ooh, pretty neat. It did actually work. Wow. Okay. And I can't walk through the pillars, so they're going to be a little bit off, but I can't actually walk through the pillars. That's worked. Well, I'm blowed. What's the land impact of this now? It's 84. I know I can bring that down more. In fact, I know that I can bring that down a lot more because I can make the overall mesh with no physics shape, and then just make the pillars out of Prim, and that would only be 16. So but yeah, I'm pleased with this. It looks good, and the physics model, although I botched it up very slightly, it was very rough and ready. I need to make proper physics model for this, and I can probably bring that down. Now the only other thing is, you see, if I zoom out on here, this is never going to be looked at from that far away. So I could have brought the land impact right down, because this is really only ever going to be seen within a 30, well, let's say 50-meter radius of being in the center of this model. It's never really going to be seen any further away than that. So I need to play around. This is why you use the beta grid, because you can play around with it. You can upload the mesh as many times as you want to get the parameters that you need correct for your model. So okay. Right, well, I've spent just over 2 hours, okay, on this. I'm a lot more impressed with myself building these arches, because I spent a long time, and I've been chatting with people on the stream as well, which has been really good. I like that bit. I like the chatting on, you know, stream. Okay, I'm going to call it a night, and for everyone that came in and had a chat and such like, really appreciate it. It's been really good, and I shall see you again during the week. I might do some kind of random streams actually on some other subjects during the week, because I've got a little bit of time off, and before things all get back to normal again with work, and yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you again soon.